welcome back to BHookedCrochet.com's Yarn Review Series, where you can learn everything you need to know about a yarn before you make your purchase. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you to Lion brand Shawl In A Ball. Shawl In A Ball is one of the newer yarns that's available in the Lion brand yarn family, and it's really unique in that it does exactly as the name implies, shawl in a ball. So that was a challenge I accepted with open arms. So it says that you can make an entire shawl with one ball of yarn. And if you've been crocheting for any amount of time, you might think, is that really true? Can you really make an entire shawl with just this one ball of yarn? And so far, yes, I've found that to be true. Now I will say that with one little drawback. So I put this yarn to the test. I started working up an asymmetrical shawl using one of their really bright and colorful colorways called Restful Rainbow. And I have found, as you can see, I'm mostly through the ball of yarn. And I have an entire shawl. I mean, it's so big it doesn't even all fit in the frame. So what I have found to be true is, yes, you can make an entire shawl out of one ball of yarn. But I will say that you're going to have a smaller shawl, or what you might call a shawlette. So if you're looking to make a really large shawl, something that's, hangs fairly low from your back, maybe that goes down to, just above the knees or something like that, you're probably going to want to get two balls of yarn. But with that, I will say that this yarn has quickly become one of my favorites, and there's a few reasons why I really enjoy working with this yarn, and we'll talk about those in this video. So before we get into my personal experience with this yarn, let's talk a little bit about the facts. So the Lion brand Shawl In A Ball comes in 8 different colorways, and you're looking at 3 of them here. So over on this side, we have Mindful Mauve, which as you can see transitions, it basically stays within the purple spectrum. Then here you have the Calming Desert, which is a multicolored yarn, so it transitions and self-stripes in colors that you might see in a desert. Then we talked about this color a little bit. This is the Restful Rainbow, really bright, really gorgeous. We've got purple and pink, it goes into blue and aqua, even hits on the warmer tones with the orange and yellow, and there's a little bit of red up here as well. So some of the other colorways you'll find, the remaining 5, there are a couple of neutrals, and there are a couple more that are the multicolored, kind of like these 2, and then you'll also find a blue version of this where it kind of stays in that same spectrum of blues, just different variations of that color. So the first thing you might ask is, where can I buy this yarn? So of course it's available at lionbrand.com, and I recommend that you take a look at their website, you purchase it there, they're going to have the stock, and you can get any color that they have available. You'll also find that it's available at some Joann's locations. It's available on their website as well, and you can find some on Amazon and various other online yarn retailers. So the stock on those is a little bit hit or miss, so you may just want to go straight to Lion Brand, order your yarn from them, and you're good to go. You can purchase one skein of Lion brand Shawl In A Ball for $9.99. And if you think about it, it really is a great deal. So you're purchasing one ball of yarn to make one shawl. So putting it into that perspective, it makes it feel like it's actually a good deal. So you're just buying one ball of yarn and you're paying $10 for it. You're getting a whole shawl out of that. Sometimes if you're using a different fiber or a different type of yarn, you may have to purchase multiple skeins, and therefore you're probably going to end up paying more in the long run. So if you're looking for a self-striping yarn, something that's really soft and definitely nice to wear next to the skin, you definitely want to check out this yarn here. I think you'll really enjoy it. So when you get your skein of Lion brand Shawl In A Ball, you're going to find, of course, some information on the yarn label, and we're going to cover that here. So the first little bit of important information is the fiber content. This is also one of the things that I really enjoyed about this yarn. It's 58% cotton, 39% acrylic, and 3% other fibers. So the really great thing about this yarn is that the majority of it is cotton, so it is really, really soft. And the acrylic also plays into how soft it is. So one of the things that I really like about the fiber content is, of course, that it's really soft, but it lays really well. It has a nice drape, which I think makes it perfect for a shawl. Now, one ball of yarn will be 5.3 ounces or 150 grams, and that translates into 518 yards or 473 meters. Now this is a medium or a worsted weight yarn, as you'll see pictured here, and they recommend that you use a size 6mm hook. Now this is only a recommendation. You can really use a smaller hook if you wanted to, and I'll do a close-up of the yarn itself, just so when it's in a skein or in a ball like this, it's hard to get a full picture of what the fibers look like. So it is on the lighter side of medium, so you could really go down to probably a 4.5 or a 5mm crochet hook if you're looking for something with tighter stitches or something that might not have as much of a lacy appearance to it. Shawl in a Ball is also washer safe. Now you don't want to put it in the dryer, but it is safe to throw in the washer, and you'll want to lay flat to dry. So I just wanted to get as much of this in the frame as possible, the shawl that I'm working on here. And I'm working up, I mentioned before, an asymmetrical shawl design. So it pretty much just starts from basically 3 double crochets down at the bottom. You increase 1 double crochet, and you do that every row, and then you end up with, with it getting much bigger down at the other side. But I really wanted to show you how the colors transition. And that is the biggest thing, the thing that I really enjoy most about this yarn, is that it's a very beginner-friendly yarn. When you're working on a shawl, sometimes the shape is hard enough to try to figure out. So if you're making, like I am here, an asymmetrical design, sometimes you might be doing an even more complicated pattern. The last thing you want to worry about is changing colors or changing yarns, every few rounds or every few rows. And so you don't have to worry about that with this yarn. So with its self-striping, you're eliminating that headache or that kind of tricky part of the pattern, but you're also limiting the number of ends that you have to weave in once you're finished. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about self-striping yarns. You'll find that I use them a lot. I pretty much use them every opportunity I get. So one last thing I wanted to do is show you a close-up of what the yarn looks when it's off the skein. So I mentioned this is it's a much lighter medium weight than you might be used to. But you'll notice that it sort of has some transitions. So there are thicker sections in some parts. It's a little bit thicker, a little more fuzzier down here. And as you get down towards this end, it's much skinnier, much cleaner. And so you're going to see that slight variation throughout your skein. And that really creates a lot of good texture. And you really can't tell the difference. I mean, there are several of those spots in this shawl. It really just kind of blends in, kind of adds to the character and the texture of the design. So that's one of the things I really enjoy about this yarn as well. If you've worked with Shawl in a Ball, as I'm sure there are many of you out there who have already tried this yarn, I would love to hear what you have to say about the yarn, maybe the projects that you made out of it, because even though it's perfect for shawls, obviously it's going to be great for a lot of other things too. So let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you've made out of this yarn. You can share it with me on social media, on Facebook or Instagram at B.Hooked and hashtag B.Hooked on Facebook. It's really great to have your perspective. That's as valuable as what I'm saying here on this video. If somebody is purchasing this yarn online because it's not available in stores in their location, then it's really great to have multiple perspectives and to kind of read what other people are using this yarn for and their experience with it as well. A big thanks to our sponsor, Lion Brand Yarns, for providing us with today's beautiful yarn for this yarn review and this awesome shawlette that I'm working on kind of behind the scenes. On behalf of BHookedCrochet.com as well as LionBrand.com, I'm your host Brittany. We'll see you in the next yarn review.